I'm Kim. I'm the co-founder and executive director of Angels and Doves. Angels and Doves is a nationwide 501c3 nonprofit charity that travels the country to try and end bullying suicides. We have a 3-step program. We give a presentation in schools that lasts about 1 class period so that we do not disrupt your schedule. We have unique support tools including the Bully Book and the Bold program. The Bully Book was authored by me and is published by Tate Publishing. It is a book with pictures and a fill-in-the-blank journal so that we can track your students' hurts and concerns and hopefully intervene or prevent a possible suicide.
Angels and Doves is a 501c3 nonprofit charity that travels across the country to prevent bullying, bullying injuries, and bullying suicides. Angels and Doves was co-founded by Kim Harvey and her mother Joyce early in 2010. The mission of Angels and Doves is to end bullying, which can be done peer-to-peer. Kim has a background in psychology from Indiana University, Bloomington. Both Kim and Joyce have worked with children in some capacity over the last 15 years, including working with infants and autistic children. Angels and Doves was recommended by Ellen DeGeneres in 2010 when the No Bullying billboard was hung in memory of Billy Lucas in Greensburg, Indiana, and made national news. Angels and Doves has created a full circle of tools to support the mission of ending bullying: professional presentations, staff presentations, the Bull program, the Bully Book, and the new anti-bully box. Angels and Doves was embraced by the American Legion Child Welfare Foundation and was a grant recipient for the year 2017. This grant enabled Angels and Doves to create the anti-bully box and to share their mission on a wider scope nationwide. And now let's join Kim, already in progress of giving a professional presentation at a charter school. Enjoy.
Hi, my name is Kim Harvey. I'm the co-founder and the executive director of Angels and Doves Anti-Bully Program. Angels and Doves Anti-Bully Program was established in the year 2010 by myself and my mother, Joyce Taylor. Our mission was to try and help to put an end to bullying injuries, and bullying suicides. Now, with some of our more recent incidents in society, we're also trying to combat school shootings and injuries inside and outside of our school campuses. Unfortunately, we're seeing tragedies in the news almost on a regular basis. Angels and Doves, again, is headquartered out of Indianapolis. We travel nationwide and we'll speak to schools, organizations, wraparound services, after-school programs, churches, city parks, any place where we might be needed to spread our education and our prevention of bullying and youth violence. Angels and Doves was mentioned by Ellen DeGeneres on her show in the year 2010. We were also featured on MSNBC and mentioned on Fox News. We were alerted to a highly disturbing situation that took place in Greensburg, Indiana, where a 15-year-old boy actually took his life from being bullied in his high school. Upon receipt of this news, because we were so logistically close to this area, we decided to put up the first ever No Bully billboard that had ever been put up in the United States. When all 4 local TV stations appeared at the location of putting up the billboard, Fox News took it upon themselves, and we're very grateful to them for this, to send it to the nationwide wire. That evening, they put it on the news in Los Angeles, California, and Ellen DeGeneres just happened to be watching the news in her home in LA that night. She saw the news clip, and immediately the next day, she had one of her assistants call Angels and Doves. I took the call. and I was very much surprised, as you can imagine, that Ellen had asked her assistant to call us personally and to thank us for what we had done the day before. She then talked about Angels and Doves on her show very briefly, and she listed us on her website as being one of the nationwide most leading and supportive charities to support anti-bullying and equality among our youth. So again, as you can see, Billy Lucas is the young man who we were trying to support in Greensburg, Indiana. He was 15 years old, and he went through a very terrible bout of bullying in his own school, and he felt like there was no other way out but to take his own life. It was a very sad story. Billy's mother went out in the backyard to call him in for dinner one afternoon, and Billy didn't answer. They lived in a rural area. They had a barn behind their house, and his mother kept calling for him, and he didn't answer. And she walked out into the back and went to the barn and called for Billy again, and Billy still didn't answer. And much to her horrible surprise, she found her son there dead in the barn. He had taken his own life, and immediately it was found out that Billy had been being bullied at school, and he was distressed. And he was distressed to the point where he felt at the age of 15, he felt that that was the only way out for him. And this is a very sad concept, to think that any of our youth at any age, 8, 9, 10, 15, 17, would come to the conclusion that taking their own life, dying instead of living, would be the only way out from dealing with bullying. So here are some statistics that are quite alarming. We know now from the U.S. Department of Health Services in Washington, D.C., that nearly 1 million students stay home in the United States, coast to coast, every single week due to the fear of being bullied. 1 million students staying home because they are too afraid to go to their very own school, the school where they should feel safe and feel peace and feel happiness and go to school excited to see their friends, to be involved in the activities that they're interested in, and to have a fun, educational, peaceful day at school. We have 1 million staying at home. This is an alarming statistic, and it takes all of us as adults, whether we've got children or not of our own, it takes all of us as a community to try to overcome this nationwide epidemic that we are all facing together. Okay, so now I would like to go into the youth part of our presentation. And again, I'd like to welcome all of the students that are watching this video today. My name is Kim, and I am the director of Angels and Doves Anti-Bully Program. We're actually located in Indianapolis, Indiana, in the heart of the Midwest, in the heart of the United States. And Angels and Doves is now 9 years old, and we travel all over the country to speak in schools. And today we're doing this presentation by video because we weren't actually able to be there in person. But we do hope that this video will be just as enticing and as up close and personal as we possibly can be through our video. Angels and Doves has traveled all over the country, as I mentioned, and we speak to grades 1 through 12. So no matter what age you are or what grade you are in, this presentation is dedicated to you to talk to you about the serious issue of bullying. Now we know that not every child has been bullied, and maybe you haven't been bullied, and if you haven't been, that's wonderful. We are very happy about that because you shouldn't be bullied. We don't want you to be bullied. But for those of you who maybe have been bullied, or maybe you're even being bullied right now in your own school. We're very sorry to hear that. And we're here to help you and your teachers and your whole school with the issue of bullying. So the first thing that I'd like to do is share with you the definition. What does bullying really mean? Because sometimes people get the wrong definition of what bullying is, and they call it the wrong thing, or they're talking about it in the wrong manner. But here's the definition of bullying. Bullying is an intentional act of aggression that is done without your permission, and that happens over and over and over again. So let's kind of break that down a little bit. Maybe you don't know what intentional means. Intentional means that something is done on purpose, okay? So when somebody bullies you, or if they're bullying your friend, or maybe they're bullying your brother or sister, they're actually doing it on purpose, which means that they know that they are doing it. It's not a mistake. They know that they are bullying another person. They've actually made a decision to be a bully. That might seem a little bit unusual that somebody would actually make a decision to be a bully, but unfortunately, it's a true statement. So, when a bully becomes a bully, they are doing it on purpose, and they're doing it very aggressively. So now let's talk about aggressive. What exactly does aggressive mean? So aggressive means when you do something with a lot of force, okay? So, sometimes you walk up to a person and you might push them. You might do it on accident, but if you're doing it on purpose, intentionally, and you're doing it really with a lot of force, that means that you are doing it aggressively. So now, bullying means that you do it on purpose, and you do it with a lot of force. All right? Then, bullying is done without your permission. So let's say you're the one who is being bullied. Obviously, none of us are going to say to another person, sure, you can bully me, that's fine, because bullying is not fine. So you would never, ever give permission to somebody else to allow them to bully you. So obviously, you have never given them permission to do that. And then bullying is done over and over and over again. So that means that maybe one day you go to school and the bully and his or her friends bully you. But maybe a whole week goes by and they don't bully you again. But then the next week they bully you again. And then maybe the next week, right? Or maybe a couple of weeks go by and they don't bully you, but they do it again the next month, and then the next week, and then the next month. And sometimes bullying will go into the next school year. So let's say that you've just completed school, you went through summer break, you had a great time, you're back in school. And unfortunately, those bullies are targeting you again. So that is what we mean by over and over and over again. Now I want to take a minute to tell you the difference from bullying to teasing. Sometimes we get teased at school. Maybe your friends are teasing you. They tell you you're having a bad hair day, or you look silly, or something of that nature. That might be teasing. But when someone bullies you, they are actually trying on purpose to hurt your feelings. So that could be the difference between bullying and teasing. Okay. Now then, there are 4 types of bullying. 4. Okay, this is important. The first type of bullying is physical. The second type is verbal. The third is emotional, and the fourth is cyber. So let's talk about that for a minute. Most everybody knows what physical is. It means when we're doing something with our body, okay? When we talk about physical bullying, we actually mean that we are using some part of our body, even our head, right? Shoulders, elbow, fingers, knees, feet, any part of our body that could be used in a harmful manner is part of physical bullying. You know, when I'm there in the school and I say, okay, everybody tell me what physical bullying might be, most everybody will tell me hitting, punching, possibly kicking. Those are all true. But there are other forms of physical bullying. You can be poked at. Now again, remember, we're not talking about your friends. We're talking about people that are trying to harm you, embarrass you, humiliate you, and intimidate you in some manner. So if somebody walks up to you in the hallway and they start poking at you and they're trying to embarrass you, that's bullying. Let's say you're in the restroom and somebody corners you and then they poke you or push you, that's physical bullying. Or let's say you're in the locker room or you're in the gymnasium and somebody tries to push you, shove you, poke you, kick you, trip you, that's physical bullying. Going up the steps into your school bus, if somebody tries to trip you on purpose to embarrass you or humiliate you, that's physical bullying. Okay, let's talk about the second form of bullying. That's verbal. We all know that verbal is when we're speaking. All right? How many times have you maybe been insulted or had somebody at school say something that was mean to you or harmful that really hurt your feelings? Or maybe you saw one of your friends, right? You heard somebody say to one of your friends something that was very harmful. Or maybe you just heard somebody else talking behind somebody's back about them. That's verbal bullying. That's very damaging. Verbal bullying is just as bad as physical bullying. Because if you're saying something that's not true or that you really don't know about, that's harmful to another person. Let's say that you heard a story about somebody and you didn't even know that person. You have the choice of thinking that that story is true, or you have the choice of thinking, you know what, I'm not even going to listen to that because I don't know if that story is true or not, so I'm not going to listen to it, and I'm certainly not going to repeat it. Those are your choices. If you hear something negative or harmful about another person, choose to not listen to it and choose to not repeat it. Also, choose to not say negative, harmful things about another human being. We hear about students using slander or curse words or profanity in regards to other people. Again, that is not acceptable. It's not acceptable in any age group. Not your age group, not my age group, not in school, not in college, not in the workplace. Using profanity, slander, saying negative or bad things about another person is not acceptable in any situation ever. The third form of bullying is emotional. Let me explain what I mean. Let's say that all the guys go out on the basketball court and they're all out shooting hoops, having a great time, but they always leave one certain person out. They never ask the same guy to go out on the basketball court with them to shoot hoops. And in the meantime, they're kind of even making fun of him or making him feel badly about himself. They're drawing attention to him. That's emotional bullying. Let's say you walk into the lunchroom at lunch and you don't have assigned seating in your school for the lunchroom, and you have the opportunity to invite somebody to sit at your table, or you make fun of somebody and you leave them out of sitting at your table with you altogether. That's emotional bullying, because that hurts. That hurts feelings. So you know what? Instead of taking those actions, next time you're in the lunchroom, maybe you invite somebody to sit at your table that might be alone, or that might really want to be sitting with you. The next time you're on the school bus and you see somebody sitting alone and maybe they could use a friend, why don't you sit next to them or ask them to sit next to you? But certainly don't leave them out on purpose, and don't make them feel badly about themselves. We all have choices in life. You know what? It feels a lot better to like somebody and to care about somebody than it does to be negative or rude or harmful to another human being. Certainly, you would not want to be left out, and certainly you would not want to have your feelings hurt. And certainly, we all want to be included, we all want to be liked, and we all want to have friends. So if you're in a position where you can add new people to your group, if you're in a position where you can make another student feel happy, feel comfortable, to feel like they've got a friend, that's what you want to do. That's how we should be treating each other. It's called respect. When we don't have respect for each other, that's when we start hurting feelings and we start having issues between people. The fourth type of bullying is cyber, and most of you are very familiar with what that means. Cyberbullying is bullying that is done through electronics, typically through your computer, your iPad, your notebook, your cell phone, right? Everybody has all those things. Everybody's got a computer. Everybody does email. Most everybody's got a cell phone. Even if it's not your own, you have access to a cell phone. Notebooks, iPads, we all have them. Those electronics are a gift. They're a blessing. You know? Something that you can use to further your education, to get answers from. Your cell phone is a great place to get help from if you're ever in trouble, or you're afraid, or you need somebody. You pick up that cell phone, you can dial, click, touch, and get a person on the phone immediately to help you. So again, all of these tools should be highly respected. They should never be used to harm another person or to talk badly about another person. As an example, did you know that your cell phone can be tracked at any given minute by the police department through cell phone towers that are everywhere? So if you take your cell phone and you do something negative with it, it can be traced back to you and where you were at that very given moment. We do not want to take pictures of anybody on our cell phones in a negative manner. We don't have the right to do that. Now, if it's a friend and you ask permission to take their picture and you're using their picture in a positive manner, that's okay. But remember, we're talking about bullying. We're talking about doing something negative on purpose to harm another human being. So again, remember, your phone is not to be used in a negative way. Do not send text messages in a negative manner about another human being. You don't have that right. Just like Nobody else has the right to do that about you. Would you like it if somebody was talking negatively about you? You would not. Would you like it if somebody was lying about you? No, you wouldn't. Would you like it if somebody was using profanity or negative names in regards to you? No, you wouldn't. So again, do not use your cell phone in a negative manner. Let's talk about Facebook for a minute. Of course, there's a lot of social networking. There's Instagram, so many different forms of communicating with each other through the social media. But one thing I do want to remind you of is this, that it is illegal for anyone to have a Facebook page that's under the age of 14. And there are reasons for this. It's a protective measure. It's not to keep you from socializing, but it is a protective measure so that people do not use your Facebook information in a negative, harmful way. And that's one way to keep yourself out of cyberbullying. So if you have found yourself being talked about, being misrepresented, name calling, fake photos, pull yourself off of Facebook immediately, or make your Facebook private to just your family. Okay? But regardless really of what age you are, limit your social networking, especially if you are being bullied through an electronic device. If you don't want to be bullied in that manner, remove yourself from social media. There is still a thing called talking directly to each other in person or talking directly to each other through your cell phones. That will help reduce cyberbullying altogether. Okay, so at the end of this presentation, your instructor or the adult that you are working with right now is going to ask you the 4 types of bullying. So again, let's review. Physical, verbal, emotional, and cyber. All right, let's move on to the next point. I want you to take a look. Now this kind of shows everything that I was just talking about in the 4 types of bullying. For example, let's look at the picture in the lower corner of the mother and the daughter looking at their Facebook page. And what do you think has happened? Oh my. Somebody said something either untrue or something that was extremely hurtful about this young girl. And they're very unhappy and they're extremely worried about it. So remember what we just talked about? We decided that we would either not have a Facebook page altogether or that we would keep it private so that we don't experience this type of cyberbullying. All right, let's look at this picture up here. That would be a picture of possible physical bullying, right? The boy is afraid and the other boy in the picture is getting ready to become very physical with him. What did we say about that? We said that nobody has the right to treat us in a harmful manner. We don't have the right to touch another person in a harmful manner. None of us at any age, your age, my age, older, nobody has the right to put their hands on another human being in a harmful manner. All right, and then up here in the other corner, we see possible verbal bullying. He's name calling, he's laughing. That's hurtful, that's intimidating. So again, we do not want to do these types of things to another person because it doesn't feel good, and we would not want them doing that to us as well. Okay. Now, These are some of the places where bullying actually takes place. Some of you have experienced this, all right? Obviously, we know we talked about the school bus. The school bus is a place where bullying is happening a lot, and it should not be happening at all. Remember what we just talked about a few minutes ago? That we have a choice on the school bus. Maybe we want to try and sit by somebody new on the bus, make a new friend, make somebody else feel at ease, make somebody else feel happy. So again, if you've seen somebody on the bus sitting alone, why don't you become their friend? Instead of this, let's just turn that around and let's be nice to each other, or just don't talk to each other at all. Those are your choices. Be nice, sit next to somebody, make somebody else feel happy, or just stay away from the other person instead of causing a conflict. All right, we see the hallways. Again, we see the hallway. We see outside of the schoolyard. We see the locker room. And we see the lunchroom. We talked about the lunchroom, didn't we? We talked about, again, we have options. We have choices. Why not sit with somebody new? Or invite somebody to sit at our table instead of leaving somebody out all alone. None of us want to be left out. What would be the purpose of leaving somebody out on purpose? There is no reason to do that. It feels better in life to be nice to somebody, to help somebody, than it does to be mean and cruel to somebody else. So why don't we invite him to sit with us? All right? Okay. That leads us to this very interesting comment here, which is, what makes a bully a bully? Why would somebody leave somebody out in the lunchroom on purpose? Why would somebody pick on somebody else in the school bus? Why would somebody write negative, bad things on Facebook about somebody else? That's the question. Why does a bully become a bully? It's actually pretty simple. Most of the time, a bully becomes a bully because they're being bullied by somebody else. All right? So the person who is being the bully has probably been embarrassed, intimidated, humiliated, physically bullied, physically threatened by somebody else. Now, it could be somebody younger than them, somebody their same age, or even somebody older. It may not be somebody at school. It could be anybody. But that is typically what's going on. So, what we want to do is, we want to make sure that if somebody is bullying you, all right, do not get into an altercation with them. Do not argue with them. Don't try to reason with them. Don't touch them, and don't let them touch you. If somebody is bullying you, I want you to know the best thing to do is to go to somebody and tell them. You're not tattling, you're not a snitch, you won't get in trouble. You need to go tell somebody, because the bully needs to be talked to and reprimanded by an adult alone with nobody else around, so that the situation can be monitored and so that you will not be bullied anymore. Now then, the opposite of the bully is the target, the person who's being bullied. All right? The bully feels a lot of power. Remember, they're aggressive. Remember when we talked about the definition of bullying and we said that they were very aggressive? Aggressive being forceful, right? The target is feeling just the opposite. They're feeling very weak, very alone, intimidated, fearful, rejected, tormented, lonely. They may stop eating. They may want to stay home from school. They may not be sleeping very well at night. And they certainly aren't feeling happy. When you look at these two pictures, 7 years old, 17 years old, they both are feeling exactly the same feelings. Sad, lonely, depressed. Why would any of us want to try and make another person feel like this? We should want to try and help people feel good about themselves, feel happy, feel joyful. We want to try and be their friend. We do not want to make people feel like this. So, don't be a target. All right? Here are some ways to not be able to be the target. You might be the target one time, but if you think you're being bullied, you go tell somebody immediately, and you tell them that you need to have the situation monitored, tell them who the bully is, and what they did to you. And if they continue to bully you, make a note of it, or go get an adult immediately. So, you don't have to be a target, number one. Number two, tell somebody if you are being bullied. Tell your parents, tell your favorite teacher, tell your best friend, tell your coach, tell somebody, tell everybody. It is nothing to be ashamed of. It's not your fault. If you are being bullied, you did not do anything to cause it. Do not be ashamed. Do not be afraid. Do not be embarrassed. And be sure that you go tell somebody. You are not a tattletale. You will not get hurt. And you should protect yourself from being harmed. Don't stop going to school. You need to go to school every day. You need to get your education. You need to graduate from high school so that you can go on and have a wonderful life after you graduate from high school. Don't let anybody in your school intimidate you and make you feel like you cannot go to school every single day. Lastly, stay close to people that you love, that you like, and that you feel comfortable around. All right? Try not to be alone too much. Try to walk down the hall with somebody, try to sit on the bus with somebody, or get a big group of people to hang out with. But try to be around somebody or other people if you think that you are being targeted. Okay. And then, don't be a bystander. So how many of you know what a bystander is? A bystander means just what the name says, that you stand by. Okay, what does that mean? That means, let's say you're in the hall, and you see a couple of people intimidating another student in the hallway, calling them names, making them drop their books. What do? Do you just stop and look? Or do you just walk on by, go to lunch, or just get on the bus and go home? No, that would be a bystander. We are supposed to help protect other people. It doesn't mean that you get into the fight. It doesn't mean you get into an altercation. It doesn't mean that you touch anybody else or get involved. But it does mean that you go tell somebody. Go get an adult immediately so they can stop the bullying. You will not get in trouble. You're not a snitch. You're not going to get harmed. You need to go get somebody. So you're thinking, okay, what if I don't know the person that's being bullied? You go get somebody. What if I don't like the person that's being bullied? You go get somebody. What if the person's 5 years younger than me that's being bullied? You go get somebody. No matter who the person is that's being bullied, we all have a responsibility to go tell somebody, to bring it to their attention, and to get help immediately. Let's say that you have a cell phone in your hand, and let's say that you're outside in the neighborhood, right? You're not in the school where you can easily go get a teacher. Let's say you're out in the neighborhood or someplace else, and it's a pretty severe situation. Somebody's really getting threatened. What do? You hit 911 on your phone, and then you hit speaker. Why do we hit speaker? Because the minute you hit speaker, they pick up the phone, you tell the police what's going on, they can immediately hear what's going on. They can hear the surroundings. They can hear it. So best measure is just tap on speakerphone until they get there. Okay, next. So at Angels and Doves, we're here to help protect you. We're here to show you that we care about you, we care about your school, we care about your safety. We want you to be able to go to school every day, feel safe, feel protected, and certainly not be afraid or feel intimidated. So we have tools. One of the main tools that we have is the Bully Book. This is a book that I wrote. It is published and it's on the market. It is for grades 1 through 7. It's the story of bullying, and then it has a place where we can draw a picture of whoever might be bullying us. And it also has a fill-in-the-blank workbook journal where you can actually write down privately your hurts, your emotions, if something's going on in your life that you don't like or that worries you, or that your emotions are feeling bad, your feelings are hurt, you can write it in here. You can then share this book with either your mother or an older sibling or your favorite teacher. But this book is to be used inside the school. It's a 40-day book, 40-day journal. It can be used daily or weekly. And again, it's private between the student and one adult. Then we have this wonderful program called the BOLD program. This is my favorite. This is where we pick you, the student, to be the peacekeeper in your school. All right? This is done through your teachers and principals and counselors. They choose which students will become the BOLDs. The BOLDs are peacekeepers. They're there to help other people when they feel bullied. The BOLDs wear one of our No Bully shirts. All right, these are our very own trademarked No Bully shirts. Every BOLD gets one of these shirts. Then, when you're walking down the hall, or you're on the bus, or you're in the schoolyard, other students and teachers see that you are the BOLD. You're a leader. So if somebody is feeling intimidated, afraid, threatened, they know to come to one of the BOLDs. They don't even have to know you. You don't have to know them. They may not be in the same grade as you. They may be younger than you or older than you. That doesn't matter. If you are lucky enough to become a BOLD, again, you will be a peacekeeper within your own school, your own neighborhood, and other people will come to you when they feel threatened. Now, what do? You just take them to an adult. You don't get into an altercation. You don't get into an unsafe act. You just take that person who's not feeling safe to an adult, an office, a police station, to a safe place so that they feel safe again. And you saw the shirt that you would be wearing as the bull. And again, we love the Bowl program because it puts you in a safe place. They can walk you to the bus. They can sit on the bus with you. They can walk you into school. They can help walk you home. And we have this, the Anti-Bully Bundle. This is great for teachers, for parents, and actually for each and every student. This is a combination of our 50-page adult manual, and this manual has pictures and statistics and stories and everything that you've just seen in this video. Again, this is the Leader's Guide, 50 pages in length, and then of course it comes with a copy of the Bully book, and again with one of our shirts. And this equips you for one student, one family, to have the tools that you need to be more educated and alerted about bullying and how we can overcome it. So in summary, when you guys go back to your rooms today, or if you're at summer camp, or you're at your church, or you're at the Boys and Girls Club, or Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, wherever you're at today, when you go back to your adult leader when the video's over, they are going to just summarize with you what we talked about today. The definition of bullying, the 4 types of bullying, why a bully becomes a bully, how the targeted student feels, bystander, and some of the other key words and key issues that we talked about today. In closing, I'd like to thank you very much for listening to the Angels and Doves anti-bully presentation today. Again, we want you to feel safe in your school. We want you to feel protected. Bullying is something that leads to other forms of bad behavior. Bullying can lead to injuries, to shootings, to other issues that we don't want to see happen in our schools or anywhere near our schools. So again, if you're a student and you need to talk to somebody, you are welcome to contact Angels and Doves or talk to your favorite teacher. If you are a student who actually wants to help other students, talk to your school about becoming the Bowl. If you are an adult watching this video and you would like more information, contact Angels and Doves or have a discussion with your classroom and see how you, as a school, can have an anti-bully day or an anti-bully week and how you can come together and overcome bullying together. Thank you. This concludes the presentation from Angels and Doves. In review, the definition of bullying is an intentional act of aggression to harm another person against their own will that happens over and over and over again. The 4 types of bullying include physical, verbal, emotional, and cyber. We appreciate your attendance this morning, and we hope that we've given you additional information on how to protect yourself from bullying. And remember, if you are being bullied, please tell somebody. Thank you.
We hope that this video presentation was beneficial to you. Our goal is to assist each and every community in their efforts to end school bullying. For more information and to order additional tools, please contact angelsanddoves.com online or give us a call at 317-870-1100. Remember, bullying is reduced by 50% when a school brings in a professional program such as Angels and Doves.